Well, hey everyone, and welcome to the ASP Connection podcast. The purpose of this podcast is just to help you stay connected with all the cool and exciting things that we have going on at All Star. Speaking of connectedness, we just recently wrapped up our annual convention, which is called Connect. And that's just an event where we get our members and our suppliers together and give them the opportunity to network with one another and just talk about potential business opportunities. Got Matt O'Neill with me today. Matt is with Parker Plastics, a member of All Star, and Matt recently attended Connect. And so we want to just hear his thoughts from attending that event. But first, Matt, if you don't mind kicking us off by telling a little bit about Parker Plastics and maybe your role there on the team.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me, Seth. So we are a custom blow molder. We started about 30 years ago making a little honey bear bottle down in Oklahoma and still continue to make a lot of honey bears today. But over the past 30 plus years, we've expanded. We now have 4 manufacturing facilities across the U.S. in Oklahoma, Wisconsin, Maryland, and Nevada. And we're a custom blow molder, so we make a variety of bottles in any shape and size, ranging from a little 2-ounce juice shot up to a 5-gallon water bottle and everything in between, mostly for the food and beverage markets, but we do a lot in industrial, chemical bottles. We do pharmaceutical bottles, personal care, really anything that needs to be put in a bottle, we can make a bottle for.
Awesome. Well, as I mentioned, you recently attended Connect in San Diego. You all are relatively new All-Star members, and so this was your first time attending. Can you summarize, what it was like attending that event for the first time?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I said this about 100 times out in Coronado, but I was blown away at how well and how productive, how well planned and how productive the All-Star Conference was. I've been to conferences with thousands of attendees and one smaller than All-Star Connect, but I have never had an experience quite as seamless and productive as the Connect conference. I mean, the venue alone was worth the trip. I'd never been there, but it was so beautiful. The hotel was amazing and so historic. But from a business standpoint, it was just so great to meet in person with some of our key suppliers, to meet other All-Star members and build a community there. And the guest speakers were fantastic. I think Jason Redman was certainly one of the best guest speakers I've ever heard.
Absolutely. Yeah, Connect is an event every year that's a highlight, and it's just always so good to get together with our members and suppliers in person. I need to give a shout out to Susan Young on our team. She does such a great job at putting that event together. As you're reflecting back on that event and as you left and went back home to your team, was there anything specific that stood out to you that you've been able to take to your team and provide value there?
Yeah, well, I think from a specific takeaway, I did enjoy hearing some of the other members in the videos talk about some of the recruiting challenges and how they've addressed some of them. I mean, obviously, all of us are facing the same crisis with people leaving and trying to recruit and retain top talent. So I did some of those takeaways that other All-Star members shared, or ideas that other All-Star members shared, I brought back from our team. But I think just big picture, meeting face-to-face with our suppliers was one of the best things for me, whether a formally scheduled meeting or just kind of meeting informally at the events. Like you said, we're relatively new. We've only been an All-Star member for a little over a year. But the suppliers we use through All-Star are a significant portion of our spend. So it was just great to meet face-to-face. It makes doing business much easier and much more enjoyable when you know people on a personal level and have built a relationship with them. And we also met some new potential suppliers at the supplier showcase, which was great. And finally, we actually got to see some current customers or some new customers or new potential customers that are other All-Star members, so we can continue to strengthen the partnership there.
That's great. Well, we appreciate your feedback and so glad that you were able to find value by attending the event. It's like I said, it's just a great event every year. Love getting to see people in person. That's always special. So shifting gears a little bit to wrap up our time together, Matt, we always ask our guests, what's something lately that you've been thankful for, whether it's professionally or whether it's personally?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I can't be thankful enough for the people in my life, for my wife, our 3 little kids, extended family, friends, people I get to work with at Parker Plastics, our customers, suppliers, etc. But on a more kind of recent level, I would say just the return to normalcy that we've been experiencing coming back from COVID has just been so refreshing. Yesterday, I took an airplane ride for the first time without a mask in over 2 years, which was awesome. And even just getting back to events like All Star Connect or just going to see live music again, going to concerts and things, it's just So I'm so thankful for getting back in person and getting a sense of normalcy back in our lives.
Absolutely. I'm with you. I'm thankful for the normalcy coming back as well. It's a huge blessing. Well, Matt, again, thank you so much for taking your time to be a part of our podcast. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Seth. Take care.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of the ASP Connection podcast. If you heard anything that stuck out to you that was especially interesting that you'd like to learn more about, reach out to us via email at podcast@allstarpurchasing.com. We'd love to continue that conversation with you. For general company updates, this podcast is a great place to start, but also make sure that you follow us at All Star Purchasing on LinkedIn. We post regular company updates there as well. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.